So it's been a year since I decided to go natural, and so many things have changed. So many things have changed. I'm actually, I'm a business owner with my daughter, and that was a huge process of learning how to communicate, to be heard and to be respected, and have it be an equal learning experience. It definitely was, and I'm so grateful for how far we've come. That's just been since, we started the business before that, but me being able to learn how to communicate, both of us with each other, has been really over the last year. The other thing that has been drastically different is my boundaries. I've been able to set some boundaries, which has been incredibly important and has been incredibly liberating, which I'm in the process of still defining, which I don't think we ever completely are done. I don't think that's something that we finish completely. So I'm in the process of that. I'm also in the process of working with some multiple different nonprofits, some that I was already working with, and some that I just newly got engaged with. So more on that later. Let's see what else over the last year. Things have been going much better between me and my husband. I've been going to therapy. There's a lot of really great transition that has been taking place, and I really do think it has something to do with the fact that I was okay with becoming vulnerable, and I was okay with being able to embrace my age and all of what comes with that. So I'm still getting used to it. I'm still learning how to share my process, because before, and I'm not really sure why, before when I was red, it seemed to be something that was expected. And now that I am natural, it's almost like I feel like I shouldn't be as bold. I don't feel as comfortable being that same level of boldness. So I'm getting reestablished into my skin and into everything reopening too. I think it has to do with that as well. Come on, let's just be real. It's been a major adjustment over the last 3.5 years. So and that's my meditation journey too. My meditation journey, it's been since July 3rd of 2020 that I started on my meditation journey, which led me to want to be comfortable with changing my hair color, which led me to being able to redefine some boundaries that I had been seeking to change anyway. But when I decided to become bold enough to not be so bold with my red hair, because that was a pretty bold thing for me to do. And I don't know if anybody's ever changed their hair dramatically. If you've ever done that when you were a kid, where you went from long hair to short hair, something pretty dramatic where everybody was like, oh my gosh, you look so different. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. And when you've already established who you are, it can be really vulnerable. That's all I could say. Have compassion for yourself while you go through the transition. That's the main thing I've been focusing on is, so the biggest tip that I'm going to say during this transition is I have learned to do things for my future self. The fact that I started my hair color, right? Okay, so the hardest part, it's not so much the doing, right? It's not coloring your hair or not coloring your hair. It's not that. It's the transition of the in between. Am I going to be this or am I going to be this? And COVID allowed a lot of people to be able to not have any visibility during that in between. And a lot of people went and they transitioned and they changed and they went all natural and they decided not to color their hair. I was not in that mental place at that point. I was still learning to be compassionate with myself in other ways. So when I actually stepped into transitioning into not coloring my hair, and again, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So not doing hair color goes against a lot of my training. You can hear the geese. Come land in my pool. I want you to land in my pool. There's a couple of us who have pools around here. Anyway, but when I learned to transition, when I learned to know that I was ready to transition into not doing the hair color, I was out and I was in public. I was never able to really be behind the scenes. So now I think this was my time where I took a little bit of a reprieve from being out there, and I'm still learning my footing, and I'm redefining my channel and my voice and all of that good stuff, as I'm sure all of us are. I mean, we are stepping into some crazy historical times that I mean, this is an exciting time. It's an exciting time, and it's a new time for everybody. So I think when I transitioned into changing my hair color, I knew that was going on. I knew that we were able to kind of wipe the board down and start over, and that it was completely acceptable to do that. So that's what I'm doing. I have the lipstick on here. No. So that's what I'm doing, and I really like it. So if those of you who are transitioning into your hair color, the thing I'm going to tell you is remember to do things for your future self. Your future self, the tip is to know that what you're doing today may be hard for you to get through it. But once you get down that path and you identify that this is what you are going for, don't stop. Do it for your future self. You owe it to yourself. Like you know, it's one of those things where the meditation and the journey and everything that I've been on, the part that I have most rapidly embraced over the last several weeks, months, I'll say several months, since probably about December, and we're May 2023, so December of 2022, was just sticking it out and knowing that you are doing this for your future self, that those things that you've always wanted, that even though it's hard, that it's only going to be hard for a minute, and then it's going to get easier, and then the transition is going to take place, and before you know it, you're going to be sitting into your new life, into your new dimensional like time frame of making that choice and resetting things. But if you quit before you can turn that corner and get there, then you're never going to benefit. And so really, if you think about it, the love of yourself, of your future self, should fuel you into staying the course, knowing that it's not for anybody else. It's really not for anybody else. It's for you. It's for your future self. It's for making things better for your future self. Like, that's, if we would have been taught that since we were little, that it's not about doing everything for us right now, or because I said so, but actually thinking about you in the mix, not about everybody else, to actually bring it into the you. Is this going to create ease in my life? Is this going to make things better for me in the future? Or is this going to make things harder in the future? Is this little bit of effort moving towards my goal right now going to serve me and bring more in the future? I didn't realize that until recently. Like, I didn't get that. I didn't get that, the compassion that you're giving to yourself, and then saying thank you. So I would do it with little tiny things like the seltzer water. So I am in a house of all boys. I'm the only girl right now, which that's a whole nother episode. We'll talk about that later. But I'm in a household with a bunch of teenage boys and a husband, okay? And it can become quite a bit. It can become a lot. And being able to give yourself compassion for yourself is cool. And one of the ways I found was my boys have a bunch, because of males, there's a lot of soda drinkers and there's a lot of drinkers, just like different drinks that are in the refrigerator. And we have one little refrigerator that's dedicated to all of our drinks. So our sodas and our Gatorades and our energy drinks or whatever it is that we have. It's kind of like a little bar. But we don't have a lot of alcohol in it at all. So anyway, the thing that I do is, because there's not really a lot of room for some of the little waters that I get, I end up just every now and then putting one inside the refrigerator for later. And then when I go in and I get it, I actually say, thank you, past self, for thinking about that and making sure that I had something, a cold beverage, a libation to enjoy. Thank you. I've been doing that lately, and I've been, thinking about what would I benefit from if I have all the ingredients right here and I were to put some in a container. Would I benefit from that later? Would I benefit from, I don't know, what's going to create ease in my life? That's kind of one of the things I've been really learned and really have been embracing over the last several months. And I think during that transition of going gray has been one of the things that it's changed my thought process. It's reprogrammed me into thinking more about later and not so much about right now. Because, before you would be worried so much about, oh my gosh, I've got gray, I need to hurry up and color before anybody knows. And now it's different. Now it's like I am thinking more about my hair for my future self rather than my now self, if that makes sense. But yeah, I wanted to kind of come on because it's been a year since I transitioned, and I was outside taking some pictures because I've got an event that's happening today. We actually have raised money. The other nonprofit, or one of the nonprofits that I work with, I didn't really tell you much about who I'm working with, more on that later is what I said. But the one nonprofit that I can share that I'm actually really excited about working with is the Coachella Valley History Museum. So the Coachella Valley History Museum is actually going to be having a tree lighting ceremony. The Date Grove, we raised money. The community was able to raise enough money to get lighting so that each one of the trees in our date grove that we have, that's a real date grove that is a part of our museum campus, which also holds the only date museum in the world. We are actually having a tree lighting tonight that's invite only, and so I was getting ready to go to that, and I figured I might as well take advantage of it and take some pictures so that I can get my hair color going. And I figured I was inspired. I'm out in my amazing fairy garden. I know it's a little windy. I have no idea what kind of voice quality this is going to be, or sound quality. I apologize in advance. Understand that this was kind of a spur of the moment thing, and so I figured, why not, guys? I'll just do it. I'm out here, I can, and I'll do it. So it's May. It's a new month of May, and this goes out for all the mothers and all of those who want to rebirth new ideas. You are mothers of that creativity. For all of those who are going to be really hankering in and finding some inspiration, I send it to you. And for all of those who need healing, I have been on a journey. Going through menopause is no joke. But for those who need healing and those who need understanding and compassion, I send it to you. So it is. And if you need anything or have any questions, let me know. If you have any questions about my hair, my transition, let me know. I would be happy to share with you any of the products that I'm using. I would be happy to share with you any of the cuts, any of that kind of stuff. If you're interested in seeing it, just let me know. Okay, love, light, many blessings, and thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Peace out, guys. Subscribe, like, share. Thanks. Bye.